Welcome to the Redeemer Podcast. I'm your host, Zach, and today we are going to be discussing Redeemer's pre-med program. I am joined by fourth-year pre-med student Melody Breukelman. We talk about her experiences in the pre-med program, what opportunities can happen from the program, and just her experience in general. Feel free to check out the timestamps below if you're looking for a specific topic in today's episode. I do want to highlight, if you are looking to apply to the pre-med program, there are specific application requirements you can see on screen or check out our program page in the link below. If it is your first time here, make sure to like and subscribe, share this episode with a friend, check out some of our other videos that explore various aspects of Redeemer, Christian education, and so much more. Thank you for making us part of your day, and with that, here we go! Melody, it is a pleasure to have you on the podcast today. How are you today, my friend?
I'm doing really well. Yeah, thanks. How about you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to talk about the pre-med program at Redeemer. So Melody, let me just start by saying, I get a lot of questions about the pre-med program, when I'm on the road and I'm at fairs or I'm at high school. So I'm really thankful we have this opportunity because it is a program at Redeemer. It has additional admission requirements than a lot of our program. So let's maybe just talk a little bit. Could you share a little bit of your story? Why did you choose to study pre-medicine, and how did you find Redeemer, and why did you ultimately decide to come here?
Yeah, I didn't find out about Redeemer until a little bit into my grade 12 year, so a little bit later on. Actually, one of the admissions counselors came to my school. I'm from BC, so out of province. It was pretty cool to have one of the admissions counselors come to my school, and he talked a little bit about Redeemer. And he was also the first one to introduce me to the pre-med program. And at that point, I didn't know a lot about it, but he kind of helped me through this and talked a lot about what you can do with the program and everything like that. So I ended up visiting in the fall before my first year, which was a huge benefit. I can't recommend it enough. Visiting was an amazing experience. It was really phenomenal. Like, I got to live in a dorm, and I got to talk to current students, and I sat in on a class, and I talked to current professors, and it was just an amazing experience. And after that weekend, I was pretty convinced I really wanted to come here. And especially the talks with the current students and a couple professors really helped me understand the pre-med program. And I totally enjoyed it. It was one of the best experiences I've had. So after that, I was considering it. I ended up applying. The pre-med program itself, I like how it covers a lot of different science topics, which some of the other programs I was looking at didn't really cover as much. So now that I'm almost done the pre-med program, I've taken so much chemistry, biology, and anatomy, physics, all of these courses. So that really attracted me to the program, as well as the fact that it wasn't just the sciences. There was a lot of psychology, and then the core program and all of these other parts of it that would really help develop me into a well-rounded person and really just help me in my goal of pursuing further education. So I'd say those are the main reasons for sure that I decided to apply to the pre-med program and to come to Redeemer.
That's awesome. There is so much you can unpack from that. And let me just say, so just to clarify, you're currently in your fourth year of study, just so our listeners and viewers know, right?
Yep.
Okay. So you're about to, you have, this semester, we're recording this in the fall of 2023, and then you have one more semester, and then it's time to graduate. That's so exciting.
It is. I'm so excited. I can't believe I'm here, but I'm really excited to be graduating soon.
We're excited to celebrate with you, Melody. But on that note, maybe let's start with that. What are you looking to do with your degree program? I know there's lots of different options for students that study the pre-med program, but what are you specifically looking to do?
Yeah, great question. So I actually decided to pursue optometry. So I want to be an eye doctor in the future. So yeah, like you said, you can do a lot of things with the pre-med program, and it really lined up well to everything I needed before applying to optometry school. So actually, a couple weeks ago, I finished my applications. I sent them all in, and happily, I've already heard back from some, and I was accepted to one. So that's really exciting.
Congratulations! That's all. So you applied and you've already been accepted
Yes,
wow, that's phenomenal. Okay, wow, that's
yeah.
and in that application process,
Yeah.
like, were did you just do that yourself, or did you have some connection with some of your peers or your professors?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've definitely, this whole journey while deciding to pursue optometry, I've been talking to so many of my classmates and friends in the pre-med program and in other programs, and they really helped. But I would say, especially my professors. I know some of my professors really well. One of my chemistry professors was actually my reference for optometry school, and I can't thank him enough for doing that. So it was really amazing. And yeah, he's just so excited for me. I went to his office right away to tell him when I found out, and he was so excited with me that I got accepted. So yeah, they're just so supportive throughout all the years that I've been here, but especially now as I'm right on the end of my time at Redeemer and looking forward to other things. They're just, yeah, so
That
supportive.
well, wow, praise the Lord. That is so exciting. Thank you for sharing. And so you'll start that in
Yeah,
next fall, even, right?
yeah. Next September is the plan.
Wow. Okay, that's wow. That is very exciting. Well, let's again, very excited about your future. But here we'll maybe continue to talk a little bit about your pre med experience here. So let's start with, okay. So you're in your fourth year of study. You're going to optometry school afterwards. So what did that journey from first year of university at Redeemer look like compared to, you're in your fourth year now?
Yeah, yeah, it's been a long journey for sure. Looking back, first year seems so long ago. Yeah, I remember taking all of the intro courses, so intro to chemistry, intro to biology, introduction to anatomy, and those courses, they really like helped build the foundation for the stuff that I studied later on, in like deeper in the sciences and different courses. And at that point, I was like probably most people a little unsure of exactly where I was going, but I just kind of wanted to try out a bunch of different sciences. And I liked everything that I was studying, and so that really solidified for me. I was like, this is what I want to
Mhm.
do. um, and then yeah, so that was my first year. Was really cool. It was a lot of introduction, and then starting in my second year, I really got to dive into more complex topics and stuff that I hadn't really learned before, or really thought about. I took a genetics course, which I really enjoyed, which was a lot of work, but it was really cool to dive into just that part of science, and biology. Yeah, I've taken so many like broad courses like that across the different sciences that it's so cool to see how they all interact. I will say also during from first to fourth year, I spent a lot of time trying to get some like practical learning as well. So I have done an internship as well since then, but even before that, I did a lot of volunteering and things like that, trying to see where exactly I would fit in healthcare. And then now coming up into fourth year, I'm actually doing an internship at an eye clinic where I get hands-on experience. I basically the workplace where I hope to be one day, which is so wonderful that I get that practical experience right there working at the eye clinic. It's really amazing.
Wow, it definitely sounds like you're being set up for success, and that's a credit to you. Looking for those opportunities as well. That's fantastic. And what about if it? So you kind of talked about your second year, and then I know
Mhm.
you and I have talked because you were a student worker in the admissions office, and we had talked in that jump from second year to third year. Could you maybe speak a little bit about that kind of expectation in workload?
Yeah, I will say there was a bit of a jump. I think it might have been the course load I was taking in third year. But from second to third, I remember my first semester in fall of third year. All of a sudden, I had so much things on my plate. I had so many labs and assignments and everything, and it was good. It was really beneficial that I had all these because I learned how to work like I guess, under pressure. And I really learned to do quality work, but organizing my time and everything well, which I think, at least for me, is going to be a huge benefit going into further studies like at optometry school, because there, like, the workload is probably going to be even more insane than this. But yeah, in my fall semester, I was taking quite a few labs at the same time, and all of my courses took a lot of work. But it really gave me a chance to decide, like, this is what I want to do. I'm willing to put the work in, and yeah, just sit down and get through it together. I had some really, really good friends who were all in the same classes as me, and together we just helped each other through, the difficult times. And I mean, we came out on the other end of it. I'm done third year now, and I'm really excited about the things that I learned. I took a microbiology course. Again, that one was really difficult, but it was also amazing to learn about all the different organisms and everything, and how this fits into disease and all the different bacteria. There's a lot of memorization, but so helpful, I think, for my future career as well. Like, there's so many things I know after that course that I never even would have thought of before. It was really, really great. And then fourth year, so far, the transition has been a little bit less busy like that. My internship, I spent a lot of time practical doing things. A lot of my courses are pretty self-led. I do a lot of presentations, things like that. Really prepping for the future, which is really good. They're really setting me up for that, to kind of transition out of the classroom so much and more to, learning and teaching myself. So it's pretty cool.
That's really cool. Thanks for kind of, as much as you can summarize a 4-year undergrad degree in a couple of minutes. You did a really great job. Thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe could you speak to some of your peers, and what are some of your classmates doing? I know, often pre-med students will write the MCAT exam. Do you have any classmates that are doing that, or what are some of the other routes that they're going?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of different variety that I've seen from people. So I do have some close friends who wrote the MCAT this past summer, and who are currently applying to med school. I have a really close friend that's finished all her applications. She's just waiting now. I'm really hoping and praying that she gets in, because that would be amazing. Yeah. I also have some friends. There's a lot of people who still are in pre-med but not planning to go to med school, just because of the way the courses worked out. For me, pre-med worked really well for optometry school. So I know someone who's planning to go to veterinary school. So that's pretty interesting to talk to someone who's in that kind of program. I also know a friend who's thinking about being a nurse practitioner, which is also really interesting. It's in the health science field. You still get to talk to patients a lot, but it's a little bit different slightly than med school. I have a friend who's thinking about being a midwife, which is also really cool that she's discovered this throughout her pre-med program here, and all the things that she's learned. She also, I think she decided on this after the internship, where she spent a while in a hospital and actually got to witness a birth, and was there for that. And she was so excited, which is really cool that she got to do that. So,
wow.
Yeah, so many more things. I'm trying to think of. Yeah.
Wow, that's way more. That you did a great job just explaining that. I knew that there were some of those opportunities, but wow, there are so many opportunities, within the health science, sector that way. So, wow, blessings on you and your peers as you seek what's next for what God has for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's really exciting to see that we're all at this point and moving forward together.
Okay, well, let's maybe talk about what are some of your favorite parts of the pre-med program at Redeemer.
Yeah, there's a lot. I wanted to start with one of my favorite courses, because this course it's amazing. So there's a course called Physiological Psychology, which for me, with a science background, it's a lot of biology, but there's also a lot of psychology mixed in, and it's actually taught by a psychology professor in that department. And I took this course in my third year, that really busy semester. So, I mean, the fact that I liked it that much while being pretty overwhelmed with school was incredible. But yeah, it was an absolutely amazing course. We learned about how the brain and psychology and all that kind of part of the body interacts with the onset of different diseases, and how to manage these diseases, not just from that biomedical, physical perspective, but also from basically a psychology perspective that I didn't normally think about in my classes. And the best part of this for me is that the class was about half and half of people in health science or biology, and about half that were in psychology. So when we had class discussions, it was really interesting to see the perspectives from people who had a lot more psychology background. And I was kind of sitting with people in that background. And so we would talk, and I'd be like, I never thought of it that way. I never thought about this. Whereas I came from, the more biology based background. So it was really, really amazing to see that. I'm actually a tutor for that course. So now this year I'm tutoring students in that fall semester course, and hearing their perspectives just makes me love the course so much more. I'm so excited for them, and it's really one of the best courses I've taken here for sure. I loved it.
That's awesome.
Besides that, it's pretty cool. I also took a lot of chemistry. My minor is chemistry, so it's something I really enjoy. And we have some really amazing chemistry professors in this department. They really care about their students. They're so passionate about what they teach, helping their students succeed. That's probably also one of my favorite courses is a lot of the chemistry courses I've taken, like organic chemistry. It's notoriously a difficult course, but the professors make it so manageable. They are really there to help. And so I really appreciate my experience in that course. It was really great. It made it easy for me to learn, and for anything afterward, like I had to take organic chemistry on the entrance exam that I took. And so that course was a huge benefit for me in learning that, and I didn't have to teach myself as much preparing for the exam. So that was amazing. And then, in the pre-med program, it's such a close-knit community. It's a small group of students, I'd say, that are in pre-med. So we get to know each other really, really well. So that's kind of how I know what a lot of people are planning of doing, simply because I'm really good friends with a lot of them. And we help each other out when we're all in calculus together and we're kind of struggling with this. We all can help each other out, and we study together, and we quiz each other on things. And I love the community, the whole community at Redeemer, but especially I've appreciated the pre-med community. It's been amazing to study with them. And I'm a little sad to be moving on and just by myself going on to optometry school. Of course, I'm excited, but I won't have that same group of students, which they've been amazing. Super supportive. So that's also for sure one of my favorite parts.
I'll say this from talking to previous pre-med students at Redeemer. Word on the street is that you guys have a pretty active group chat. Would you say you and your peers have a pretty active group chat?
Yes, we definitely have a few for different classes. There's multiple group chats.
What's an undergrad without a good group chat, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
That being said, Melody, could you maybe just touch on a little bit? I know Redeemer is definitely a different experience than taking a pre-med program at like another institution. How, like you've mentioned about the close-knit community, being in a smaller school environment, and we'll touch on the Christian worldview aspect in a moment, but just how soon were you in the lab doing experiments in your classes?
Great question. I was actually wanting to talk about this as well. So right away in your first year, you're going to be taking labs 3 hours per week per class. I don't know the exact amount of labs, kind of depends on your schedule, but I usually had 2 labs a semester. Right away, that's 6 hours per week that I am in the lab. I'm doing hands-on things with the chemicals and things that I'm looking at. Which was amazing because, right away I get that experience in my biology classes. We'd be looking at things under microscopes and things. But the really cool part of it that I want to touch on is in my second year, I was in organic chemistry. And we have an analytical chemistry lab, which has a lot of really cool equipment, really specialized. I don't even know. They're amazing, like lots of really complex pieces of equipment. And one of the ones that we got to use is called NMR. That we got to go in our second year. We had a class of probably 15 to 20 people. And every week in the lab, we'd be using NMR. And so I got to actually learn how to use that machine and a lot of other ones as well. But I especially remember that one, and talking with some friends from back home, and they were all like, "Whoa, like that's crazy that you got to use that because that's something that's so like, yeah, really specialized. That a lot of times upper year students only get to use it, but yeah, at Redeemer, every single person in my second year class learned how to use it, and it was just a really great experience. Something like that I could work right alongside my professors. I could learn to use this equipment. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. The things you get to do, and I always love the fact that we have a lab partner because together we just work through the experiments. We sometimes we don't know what we're doing, and then we just start and try things out, and yeah, really get to explore our curiosity there. And in a lot of my labs as well, especially in third year, we got to design our own experiments. So this is something where we did a little bit of research and then it was really just up to us. We got to be creative, something we wanted to study, different tests we wanted to do. Yeah, it was really cool, the experiments we got to do like that.
That's phenomenal. Wow. And again, you did a great job just kind of explaining that, hey, right away you're going to be in the lab, you're going to be getting lab trained, you're going to be doing these experiments and getting that hands-on learning. So thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
let's maybe talk about this because so we've highlighted that Redeemer is a small close knit community, smaller school. There's so many benefits that come with that. But could you maybe speak to what are some of the benefits and what does it look like studying a pre-med program from a Christian worldview?
Yeah, absolutely. I've really been encountering, yeah, Christian worldview in my classes in so many different ways. It's not just starting the class off with a prayer at the beginning. That maybe was what I was expecting going in, but it's so much more than that. Um, the professors really, they're passionate about their faith and how it interacts with their subject. So if, for example, I had a biology professor that I've had for multiple classes, and we would have discussions about when we talked about genetic modification and everything that goes with that and gene therapy. And a lot of this is pretty controversial, especially in the research. And he gave space for us to discuss this. There are lots of different opinions in the class on this, and just how this interacts with the Christian perspective. So it was really open and honest discussions that we had. And it was really cool to hear how everyone kind of interacted with difficult topics like that, but from a Christian perspective together. I really appreciated those discussions, especially in that class. But in every class, we would have that. In some of my health science classes, and looking at the healthcare system and how it works and health disparities, coming at that from a Christian perspective, and how our role kind of in working in the healthcare system and working with underserved populations and how that all interacts together. That was a huge benefit that I didn't know what I was missing until I was in that class. And then I realized the amazing way the professors led the discussion and the way my peers kind of came together and talked about our role as Christians in that. And it was pretty amazing that I got to see that in my classes. And then I will say also, it's not just inside the classes that you get that Christian community. It's also outside of it when you're talking to your peers. And one of my best friends who's in the pre-med program, in one of our semesters, I think it was that fall semester of our third year when we were pretty stressed out about our grades and everything, and everything that goes with this program. She was just amazing. I remember her texting me before like a couple big tests, being like, "Don't worry, like God's got this," and like praying for me. And it was just amazing to see that, because in the middle of all of this, when we're all struggling, she really came alongside me and reminded me, about God and about Jesus and really what mattered in the end. And it was amazing. Like I really appreciated her friendship in that and the way that all interacted.
Wow.
And I've had that with so many people, and I can't imagine what it would be like without that.
No, that sounds like a phenomenal, support to have that, you don't necessarily understand that, when you apply to a university, you didn't know you were going to form those friendships that will probably, I'm going to assume, last the rest of your life, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I've made such good friends that I can't see not interacting with them again. Like I'm gonna keep up with them. We have to.
That's so good. That's awesome. Well, and it's important to have people that you can celebrate, things together and struggle through things together with as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk about, so you thank you again, Melody. You're sharing so many cool parts about the pre-med program. But let's maybe ask this question here. So often people that view these episodes are considering Redeemer, and they're high school students. What advice would you have for current high school students or transfer students that are maybe considering Redeemer's pre-med program?
hmm Yeah. I would say, first of all, if you don't know a lot about it, definitely do some research into the program. That is how I figured out a lot of what it was. I talked to students, I talked to my admissions counselor, I looked on the website. There's a lot of information out there where if you're wondering about how it's going to fit into your future plans, like totally, it's out there. I would be happy, a lot of students would be happy to talk to you guys about this. It's really wonderful. Also, I would say, I mean, coming from how I heard about Redeemer, visiting is an amazing opportunity to get to know the school. You get to talk to professors. That's a great way as well to check out the program. And then, as far as advice goes, like I've loved the program. I couldn't be happier with the way that I got to do my classes and I got to have my undergraduate experience. The community is amazing. If you're looking for something like that, where it's a smaller community, but everyone is so supportive and you still get that amazing hands on experience with some really dedicated professors, like go for it. It is an absolutely phenomenal program. I have enjoyed it so much, and the community is just amazing. But yeah, I would say like I know it's probably a difficult decision to decide on a school, and it didn't come easily to me either. I did some research again, like I visited. So do all the background info you need to, talk to students, come for a visit, and then yeah, I would pray for you, and I hope that you would pray about it too, and see where God's leading you because. Yeah, there's some really great opportunities here.
And a shameless plug, you can book a visit to come check out the labs and the rest of the campus at redeemer.ca. And who knows, you might even have Melody as a tour guide.
You might, yeah. I also give tours and I love it, so feel free.
Melody, this has been so fun. This has been so fun, and I know you've shared so many cool things about the pre-med program and about your experience at Redeemer from first to fourth year. But could you maybe just finish us off with, is there a specific story that sticks out to you or a fun memory? I'm sure there's plenty, but is there kind of a fun, just finish us off with a story time?
For sure. Yeah, I was thinking back to one of my labs in third year. I was in a biochemistry class, and we had these 3-hour labs per week. And generally, just with the experiments we had to do in this class, they all took the full 3 hours. It was a pretty small group, I think like maybe 12 students. And so we would always just be like for 3 hours every week. We got to know each other super, super well in that class. And there was one lab, I think it was near the end, probably around this time in November, about a year ago. And we were doing something called electrophoresis. Anyways, in this experiment, you have to wait like quite a while, like half an hour to 40 minutes while this thing runs before you get your results. And so at that point, we had worked fast and we were already done all of the extra parts. So we were just waiting around. And we started just playing games and talking together and joking around, and the professor joined in, so it was just a circle of us around this electric thing running in the background, and we were just like joking and telling stories. At one point a bunch of us went for a walk throughout the lab, like we just like with our lab coats on just took a walk through the school, like went to Tim's, all this kind of stuff, and just like it was such an amazing time because I'm like, I've never imagined being in this scenario where we're just like waiting around and the professor's with us, just walking around with us and like hanging out. Yeah, that class is one of the times that I had one of the best experiences. I heard all about her PhD research, which also this is a fun story because I got to talk to one of my professors for like quite a while, and she just told us about all of the PhD research that she had done and how she got into her program and what she's passionate about. And like that, because we were there for so many hours every single week, and especially during times like that, like I got to know her so well through that, and all of my peers, honestly, in that class. Such a good time. And then we finished the electrophoresis thing probably like an hour later, and we pulled out anyway. It didn't work out as intended. We're all like, wow, all of that, and it didn't work out. We do it again.
Oh wow, well, that's a fantastic story.
But it worked.
Yeah, all that work. Wow. Well, Molly, that's a fantastic story. And yeah, again, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and sharing your experience, and blessings on you in the future. And for anyone who's watching, and if you're interested in more information, check out redeemer.ca, and you can absolutely apply online. Or if you want to get more information about Redeemer, email admissions@redeemer.ca, and we'd be happy to connect with you. Thank you again, Melody.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. God bless, and we'll see you in the next episode.